today with me, I have Melissa Sheeran. She's from Plattsburgh State University. She's a three-time All-American, three-time national champion, and she's one of the players for the Connecticut Whale in the NWHL. So this week what we're going to be working on is our wrist shot. We're going to be showing you some techniques that you need to do at home, as well as some exercises that can help you with that. Let's go!
Hey ladies, so the first thing we're going to go over today that you can work on at home is the weight transfer. It's pretty easy, but I think a lot of people forget that you have to do it, and that's where most of the power comes from. So you're going to start in front here, and when you pull back, all your weight is going to come back onto that left leg. Now if you're a lefty, it's your left leg. If you're a righty, it'd be your right leg that all your weight would come back onto. So you really load up the shot, and then you're going to pull forward and through. Okay, so that's huge. And a little faster, it's pull and then follow through. But to do this, you really have to get big on that weight transfer. Your weight has to come back and then it has to go forward. But if you don't come back all the way, you're losing out on an aggressive amount of power. So the second point that we're going to talk about is the follow through. And it kind of ties into the weight transfer, but at the same time, if you don't have the follow through, it's not going to be as hard and you're not going to get that aim that you want. You really want to follow through and point to your target. So when you come back, you have your weight transfer, you come through and you point. When you finish, your stick should be pointing right where you wanted to shoot. Every time. I'm going to go top left. Every time you want to point to where you're going. So you got your weight transfer and then follow through. Alright, so the third and final point I'm going to make is keeping your head up. Now this is important because if your head's not up and you're not looking at your target, you have no idea where you're shooting, so how are you supposed to aim? Alright, so I'm not saying you need to be like here the whole time, your head's here the whole time, but you definitely need to pick your head up, take a look at the net, and then start like you're in your weight transfer stage, you should be looking at the net, looking where you're shooting. Because if you don't, you have no idea if someone's going to, one, block the shot, two, you have no idea where the goalie is, so you don't know where to shoot. So it's really important that we get our head up and we follow through. So you're here, you come back, you got the weight transfer, and you pick your head up. Your head should be looking exactly where you're about to shoot. Your head should not be here. This also is an issue because when you're trying to follow through, you don't get an accurate follow through because your head's not up. Your head's not looking at your target. So these all go together by, if you don't have the weight transfer is what gives you the power. You keep that power by following through, and then the aim comes also with the follow through, but it also comes with you picking your head up at the right time, knowing where you're shooting. So you're here, you're following through. You're here, following through. Alright, so the third point that I'm going to really harp on here, and this is probably my biggest pet peeve, is keeping your head up. I think a lot of kids don't realize that your head is literally the fulcrum of your body. Like if your head isn't looking where you're going, if your head isn't going with the motion, then your body, you're not going to get the most power because all the muscles aren't going where they need to be going. So especially with the wrist shot, I think it's important, and on top of that, you have no idea where you're shooting if you don't look. You have no idea if there's a defenseman in front of you. You have no idea if someone's going to block the shot. You have no idea where the goalie is, which is huge because how can you shoot the puck where the goalie isn't if you don't know where the goalie is? So I'm not saying sit there and stare at the net while you're doing this, but I think when you do the weight transfer back, pick your head up, take a minute, look where you're shooting, and then follow through at the net. Now, these all tie together because you do the weight transfer, head comes up, you're following through, and you're pointing. You're not going to be able to aim if your head doesn't look towards the net because you're going to have no idea where you need to shoot. So, you're pulling back, you're getting that power. You keep the power by following through. You get the aim by pointing where you're shooting and turning your head and knowing where you're shooting. So you know where that puck is going to go before it releases. So you're here and you're through. Your head follows. Yeah, so that's it for today.
Exercises that you can do at home that'll help you with this shot is wrist curls. You're going to take your stick in your top hand, you're going to put your arm straight out, and you're going to start to roll over your wrist forward and backwards. We recommend that you would do 10 of these every day. The second exercise for this week is your push-up. For the push-up, you want to keep your body straight so that there is a line from the top of your spine down to your behind. You want it to be completely straight. We could put a stick on it and it wouldn't move. After you've figured that out, you lower yourself till your chin is down to the floor and pick yourself back up. If you're struggling with your push-ups, we recommend 5 a day. And if you can do it, 10. So that's been our session. I think it's really important for you guys to be training at home. We can give you a lot of the technique. We can give you some practice here. But if you guys really want to step up your game, you got to start practicing some stuff at home. What do you think, Melissa?
Yeah, I think it's important to be shooting pucks at home at least 100 a day. I think it really elevates your game, and it makes it so that when you get to the hockey hut, you're ready to go and you know what you're doing.
There you guys have it.